All right, Sistas fans. Now, over the weekend, I rewatched some of the scenes of the episode. One of my small complaints was that it did jump around just a bit too much, but at the same time, it didn't spend too much time in one particular setting. So, trying to get all the scenes of Andi's penthouse, it was a bit of a task in order to watch them all back to back to back. But something that some fans pointed out, and no, I'm not talking about the Jordan Penelope sibling / ex-spouses thing, is the fact that Andi was being potentially fake. And I didn't really see it at first. Yeah, she was acting like she was on a air of superiority. It's like, hey, you know what? We're here to just get rid of any tension and whatnot. And a lot of fans were like, how in the world it's 3 months later, but how in the world are they having this dinner here when it's like so much awkwardness going on between them? That's another reason why I'm like, I don't know about the whole ex-spouses thing, because, okay, you had you had Gary, who was with Penelope for 3 years, which overlapped when he was married to Jasmine. And then you have Andi, who was his mistress during his marriage, even though she knew he was married, while Penelope had no idea about either woman. Then you have these two having their toxic situationship, I don't know what you would call it, which also included an engagement and pop-up wedding, which Andi declined. Then eventually they broke things off because there was no telling what exactly they were doing with each other. I mean, Andi made it clear it was just for the sex. Then she started dating Jordan from an online app, who turns out to be the brother of the woman Andi had no clue existed. And also, this woman is pregnant with Gary's child. So, adding in the whole, oh, well, it turns out, rather than siblings, Jordan and Penelope used to be married. And, wait, what? Were they? I mean, look, you know what? I don't even want to get into that. This video was about if Andi was putting on a show or not. And I made a lengthy post on social media about this. And yeah, this whole thing could be her way of just rubbing her new life, so to speak, in Gary's face. Now, I'm going to make a massive throwback reference here. I can't remember the exact episode title, but if anybody like me grew up during the 90s, during the Cartoon Network era of Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Johnny Quest, and, the list goes on. Not Johnny Test, Johnny Quest. Powerpuff Girls. There was an episode where I think it was like the neighboring family of Professor Utonium and the Powerpuff Girls, that the dad was like just miserable because his life wasn't great, and Professor Utonium was taking out the groceries and trimming the hedges. My life is so perfect. All the while, this dude is getting super upset to the point where he decides to become a supervillain, and his family joins him, and they have a dinner with the Powerpuff Girls, and it turns into this big fight. I know this is the most obscure reference ever, but this reminds me of Gary and his funky attitude the entire episode. My least favorite part of the episode was Gary's demeanor. Now, to be honest though, I can see why he's acting the way he is. It's easy right off. Gary, oh man, he's just mad. He's jealous, and then of course the ending scene just erases any sort of understanding of the character. This dude nasty. But no, it makes sense, because think about it from his perspective. And I'm not trying to defend Gary. I am not. I'm trying to break down these characters and their motivations, because that's what I do. You can see why he would be upset, because look at it from his perspective. He got put on blast 3 months ago. His entire life, well, love life, if you will, was about to be ruined because Danny decided to expose his cheating ways. Andi wasn't going to say a dang thing because she even told Jordan, I didn't want your sister to find out. So basically, he had to scramble to get Penelope back, but he did tell Hayden, she's weak. I know what to say. I know what to do to get her back. And it seems like that happened, but at the same time, they clearly aren't happy. So that's what digs the knife in even deeper. The fact that Gary sees how happy Andi is. She got the glow up, the long hair. She's cooking now. She's being all lovey-dovey. And with her new man, let me tell you about how much better my new man is compared to my old one. And Gary's just got to sit there and take it. It almost reminds you of Zach's demeanor when Karen was reading those letters. But more so like, blaming Zach for all of her issues. And honestly, I think this all comes back to Andi being butthurt about being humiliated in front of a group of people when Gary, she is not marriage material. She never meant anything to me. She was just a side piece. I'm like, this seems exactly like something Andi would do. If she gets hurt by some man, she will do whatever it takes to get the upper hand on him. And I mean, just the way she was acting at the dinner, it was all like bougie, and she had that air of elitism and just a condescending way of talking to everybody. It's like, oh wow, Gary, so you're still in your feelings over that silly little incident from months ago? Well, you tried to ruin my life and everything like that, accusing me of this. Well, Penelope, she learned everything she needed to learn about you, and she's an adult. She made her own decision to get back together with you. And now we're all happy. And you could just tell this was all an act. I mean, Gary was literally booking this woman like, you haven't really changed. No, this ain't, You think you could just bring us up here to the penthouse I bought you and act like everything's cool. We not even. We ain't even. Nope. And I mean, just the way she was talking about Penelope taking Gary back, it's like, hey, you know what? Penelope smelled the nasty bag of garbage, but instead of leaving it in the dumpster where she threw it in the first place, she decided to grab it and bring it back into the house. And Andi's acting like she didn't do the same thing 20 times over throughout the first 5.5 seasons of the show. Now, yeah, it goes back to the fact that Gary had to pick up his life while everything for Andi just kind of went up. Like I said, she kept the penthouse. Well, then again, the penthouse, cars, clothes, all that crap. Gary has nobody to blame for that but himself. Did he buy everything? Yes, but the nail in the coffin was putting it all in Andi's name. A lot of people, well, if she's really over Gary, why would she still be in the penthouse? In this housing market, in this economy, would you give it up? If a former lover bought you a house or apartment or whatever and put it in your name and you paid the taxes and whatnot, so you can officially keep it no matter what, and things didn't work out with this person, would you give it up? Or would you just say tough noogies? I'm just saying. But yeah, Gary, he lost big time. And just like with Candace and Jim in the haves and the have-nots, it's always the one-upsmanship like, hey, you didn't get the last laugh. I'm going to be the one who gets the final chuckle. So you better watch out. And when you look at it from that perspective, yeah, you can see why Gary would still be playing this sick game. And I mean, the whole panty thing, that was just, I don't know. Like I said in my episode review, I ain't kink shaming, but bro, just what's wrong with you though? So yeah, what do you think? Do you think Andi was being genuine when she, and also I wonder whose idea was it to invite them over there in the first place? I mean, Jordan did say it's been a while since he's seen his sister. Maybe this was, well, they did announce this whole city councilman thing, so I don't know. I don't know. Makes no sense. Plus, there's always this tension with Gary and Jordan, most likely because his sister decided to take him back. But, maybe the pregnancy had a role in that. I don't know. But let's talk about it in the comments section below. Do you think that Andi was being genuine? Has she really moved on? Or has this all just been some sort of act in order to show Gary, my life is better than yours and you can't do anything about it? Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.